looks like this Midwest region is going to be the toughest region, the
Yeah,
toughest bracket in
man.
it. And because, like we said, we were a lot similar, but as we progressed, you know, we had our slight differences.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned Rhode Island, and you know, I think they got in because of, you know, they get the automatic bid for winning your conference. I don't think they're playing that well right now, and I just think, like you said, Monte, even with the loss of Mo Watson, I think Creighton still has enough to beat Rhode Island. The only thing I'm a little worried about, and I'm not changing my pick, but that 5-12 matchup again, where I went with Iowa State over Nevada. But just listening to what Monte mentioned about Nevada and their talent, it's been that way for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of, in a small way, Nevada in the last couple of years kind of reminds me of Butler when they made that run of going to the final game 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where they kind of surprised people, but really didn't surprise them. If you get what I mean or what I'm saying by that, they have an abundance of talent, like you said, Monte, a lot of talent, and it wouldn't surprise me if my pick was incorrect. But I can't change it, you know. It is what we do.
Are you hedging your bet right now,
no,
man?
I'm not hedging. You know, I'm prefacing it by saying I'm not changing it. And, you know, I can't change it, so I'm not going to change it. But again, I think these games, I won't say this whole bracket, but I may be stretching a little bit, but I think it's going to be more competitive games in this bracket. And I mean competitive where I mean single digit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the parity, man.
Right.
Like,
and we mentioned that before you got here,
the
Baldy.
parity
The
is
parity.
just,
And that's one of the things that you have to love about March Madness.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
You know,
That is
because
true.
it's all the way across the board like that. So we're going to move on into the fourth and final bracket, the South bracket. I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to start from the top this time and go. I like my Heels to beat Texas Southern. I like Seton Hall to beat Arkansas. I like Minnesota over Middle Tennessee State. Bump, I know you don't want to hear this, but I like Butler to beat Winthrop. And you know, Bump is our correspondent from Rock Hill, South Carolina, who was at the CIAAs and is a big Winthrop fan. He was very excited when they made it. We were excited for him as well. But I just think the experience of Butler will help them prevail. I like, this is the 6-11 matchup coming up next. You got Cincinnati playing the winner of K-State and Wake Forest. I like Wake Forest to beat K-State, and then I like Cincy to beat Wake Forest. I mean, Kansas State, I'm sorry, K-State, Kansas State. I like UCLA over Kent State. I like Wichita State over Dayton, and I like Kentucky over Northern Kentucky. Okay, moving along, Kentucky, Wichita State. I'm gonna push the envelope this time, Ball. I like Wichita State for the upset.
Believe me, we have a lot of similarities going on. I ain't gonna hold you.
The Cincy UCLA game, it's a tough one for me. Like Lonzo Ball. I like Leaf. I'm gonna ride it out. I'm gonna go with UCLA there. I like Butler to beat Minnesota. Although it's going to be tough, this is the one pick where I'm going solely on my heart, on my fan base, my fanship. I like UNC to beat Seton Hall. Then I would see UNC against Butler. I say UCLA against Wichita State. I like UCLA in that. UNC. Yeah, I actually had I have Carolina in my Final Four. So that would be it for me.
UNC.
That's in my Final Four.
Okay.
And ultimately, they would be playing Kansas in my Final Four,
Mhm.
which it's not going to be easy. It's
Yeah.
going to be tough because North Carolina's guards are somewhat small. Josh Jackson ain't small. And I mean that all the way across the board. He ain't small.
Well, I like UNC to beat Texas Southern. I like Arkansas to beat Seton Hall. And I think Arkansas, you know, the way I saw them play against Kentucky yesterday, showed a lot of guts. They got a little bit out of hand with some of the bad fouling and that sort of thing, but I think Arkansas will beat them. I like Middle Tennessee to beat Minnesota. Middle Tennessee is a Conference USA team that is very, very talented. Defensively, they are really good. Minnesota has had a great year, and they are talented, but I like Middle Tennessee to surprise them. Butler over Winthrop. I like Cincinnati to beat Wake Forest. I agree with you, D. I think Wake Forest will beat Kansas State, and then I like Cincinnati to beat Wake Forest. UCLA over Kent State, and I like Wichita State over Dayton. I think you know, it's just something about this time of the year for Wichita State where they really seem to be able to put some, you know, some good halves and some good 4-minute seconds together, and just a toughness about them. I like Kentucky to beat Northern Kentucky, and then working the way back up, I like Kentucky to beat Wichita State, and then I like UCLA to beat Cincinnati. Another upset, I like Middle Tennessee to beat Butler, so I will put Middle Tennessee in the Sweet 16, and then I like UNC to beat Arkansas. I like UNC to beat Middle Tennessee in the regional semifinals, and you know, UCLA Kentucky. That's a rematch from a game that they played, a classic that they played earlier this year, where UCLA won. I think both teams scored 90-some points or something like that, something crazy like that. I just think Calipari in a rematch game like that, I'm going to take Kentucky to beat UCLA. So I'll have Kentucky and North Carolina in the regional final with, you know, again, another rematch with Kentucky. Kentucky actually beat Carolina earlier this year. But I like Carolina to beat Kentucky in that rematch. And so I like UD, I like Kansas and North Carolina in that Final Four on that side. So we'll see.
Well, I'm gonna work from the bottom up. We have similarities. I just got a little something going on. Okay, so I do have Kentucky beating Northern Kentucky. I have Wichita State beating Dayton. I have UCLA beating Kent State. I do have Wake Forest beating K-State, but then Cincinnati beating them. I have Butler beating Winthrop. I have Minnesota beating Middle Tennessee. Seton Hall beating Arkansas. North Carolina beating Texas Southern. I have Seton Hall beating North Carolina. Just something. It's just something about it. Just something. You can't put your hand on it. It's just something. But I think that to have the number one, if I can look at all the number one seeds, I don't think they're going to be there.
Right.
I think that Kansas will be there, Nova could be there, Gonzaga will be there, but it's just something about this team that I can't give them that. I have Butler beating Minnesota, Cincy beating UCLA, Wichita beating Kentucky. Then I have Wichita beating Cincy. Butler beating Seton Hall, and Butler in my Final Four.
Mm.
Coming out of that, coming out of the South.
So we had some similarities, we had some differences. Them 5-12 matchups are always, in my opinion, the freakish games. Even more so than the like 11 and what's that, the 3-14s. It's just something about that 12-5 matchup that kind of makes you cringe. Because it always appears that when you look at it initially, it's one team that you may look and just say, oh yeah, they're going to win that game. But as you start to go through your bracket, and I know I've done this several times, backtracked and changed some of my picks because of that. And you know, it's like you said, like Monte said, and you start to think about what you've seen of these teams, how they're playing in that last couple weeks leading into their conference tournament and then in their conference tournament. So, and again, like we said, it's a lot of parity. Like, for example, Florida Gulf Coast, the team that was dunking on everybody a couple years back or last year or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they have experience now, you know, as far as all the way across the board. You got some players that are still there, but more importantly, the coaches have that tournament experience. So now they know what to do. They know how to make adjustments. They know when to make adjustments. So those 12-5 matches, I think, are usually the toughest picks in any of the brackets.
They are.
Another tough pick I think is the 8-9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're always
You know,
going to be the toughest.
And because we right here, right above each other, right below each other. So in my opinion, that means that these two teams are more evenly matched than some of the other selections along the way. So we got you covered, folks. Now, what we need you to do is go through your brackets, give us your Final Four and your two teams that you think will be in the championship. When it all boils down, I think we'll have something to give away for the winner. What you think, Paul? You think we can get something else away?
Yeah, man.
You know,
Nothing wrong with a
We
giveaway.
can give away something. Right?
Nothing wrong with a little
Tickets,
giveaway.
maybe a T-shirt or something.
Yeah,
Nothing
man.
encourages participation more than a
More than a
giveaway.
prize, right? Right? So you know, like we say, everybody likes free. Free $99. That's my price. I love that price. So again, folks, another great show, Sports Rap in the Books. Special thanks to Mr. Ross, Coach Ross, for joining us, sitting in the day, taking time out of his day to be with us today. Baldy, thank you also for making your way here. I know, you know, the constraints and whatnot, but I truly appreciate you being here. Next week, we will revisit this, and we're going to go through the first round again. And we'll have Anthony Gilbert and James Clark sitting there next week. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it this week. But nonetheless, we had a great guest anyway.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate
Most
it.
definitely.
No problem at all. So now we have, again, another friend of the show. Anytime you want to pop in, you are more than welcome. You know, we know how to contact each other. And I just want to say again, good luck with the kids and the rest of it. Are they still playing? They still got states, right?
No, you know what? Justin lost in the States on
Wow.
Saturday.
Okay.
Yep.
And what about Lauren? She still
No, they won their state. So
they won their state, so
yeah,
they're done?
yeah,
So congratulations. Shout out to you, Live Buckets. Just it's okay. It's okay. It happens. You know, but you got a big career ahead of you. So once again, folks, Sports Rap, Heat 100. It's your boy D.
And your boy Bob.
And the coach.
Going on this time. Talk to you guys next week. Don't forget, get your brackets, not your whole brackets, but give us your Final Four and your two teams for the championship, and we will update you on what we will be giving away. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks. Get prepared for the snow. I hear there's a nor'easter coming.
Man.
but everybody's cringing, and you know, I always say, if you live here, you shouldn't cringe because it's wintertime. We're gonna get some snow. It's gonna get cold anyway. So, with that being said, again, enjoy your day, folks. Tune in next week. As always, follow us on social media, and I will get you the information for that dunk contest and 3-point contest. Enjoy your day, folks. We'll see you next week.
This is a journey into sound.